Hey, welcome to Love Liberate. I'm Emilie, your host. I'm a self-leadership coach, embodiment teacher, artist, and an activist for love. Now, I don't mean the fluffy kind of love. I'm talking about the real, the raw, confronting kind of love, the kind that cracks you wide open and liberates you, creating a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Because that is what I believe life truly is about. So through personal stories and inspiring, soul-stirring conversations on all things healing, embodiment, and spirituality, I'll help you navigate the good, the bad, and the ugly with tangible tools, fresh perspectives, and of course, a truckload of love. Here's to loving and liberating, one heart at a time. Hey, lovely lover. Thanks for listening. I want to talk to you today about transformation because I feel everything, like literally everything is about transformation today. It's a transformational coach. It's transformational for your health. It's transformation glasses. It's, it's insanity. And I think it's interesting because when a hype is happening, that also means there's a demand for it. So it means that collectively, I'm wondering, are we collectively looking for massive transformation? And what is the transformation that we're actually looking for? And also maybe, are we going through a collective transformation? But then also, isn't that always the case? So these questions I'm going to explore a little. And I'm also going to share a super personal story around one of my most transformational experiences that I've had in the last year. And I'm going to share it for two reasons. One, because it's about two women and a man. And it's going to be very, very recognizable for many of you men and women out there. And then secondly, because I'm giving you an insight into how you have the tools and everything, no money needed, to go through transformational processes by yourself. They involve the willingness to move through depth and to be uncomfortable, a few tools, and love. So, while listening, consider, are you looking for transformation? And if so, where in your life do you feel you want transformation? And then secondly, what does transformation look like for you? Does it mean to break down the old and to build something entirely new? Or does it mean breaking through a certain block? Like, what does transformation mean to you? And then thirdly, what is going to be different once you've gone through this transformation? Those are a few questions that I want to add as a fun little inquiry for yourself, and also to create some clarity around what does it mean for you so that you are no longer a slave to somebody else's promises, Take ownership, take back what transformation means to you and how you access it. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's dig into this episode. So, you want to transform your life? Well, I'm a transformational coach, and I'm going to guide you to the life that you've always wanted to lead, but that you're not living right now. If this sounds familiar to you, then you've probably been online in the past 5 years, let's say. Honestly, this is something that we're thrown at our faces and our brains and our bodies constantly on a daily basis nowadays. And it's just, I'm wondering how much of it is actually healthy anymore, because it's a constant thriving and a constant drive towards somewhere, towards something new, something better, something more. And so it seems kind of like the whole coaching industry and the wellness industry, it's kind of turned into a very capitalist, consumer-based commodity, which is I think is dangerous because a lot of the truths that are being told by the coaches and all these people that claim to transform your life, there are definitely truths there, and there are definitely very valuable insights and lessons and ideas that you can, take away and use for the better. But I think the main message, which is I'll transform your life, that main message in itself seems like the most unhealthy message that you can give a person, because it one implies that the person is not in a good place, that it needs transforming, and that it needs to do something in order to be better. Two, inherently it means that there is a better, which in itself obviously is the nature of nature. Not better, but growing, moving forward, evolving. All of those things are desirable and are healthy. But I think and I feel that the underlying tone of voice, like the underlying message, is not necessarily one that confirms the fact that who you are is just fine. And probably even the opposite. It implies that who you are is actually not super fine, and you need like a truckload of work and a massive investment that might lead to complete, brokenness. But, still, who are you going to invest in? And if not now, then when? And all those different tricks to lure you into believing that you're not enough and that you need to pay tremendous amounts to transform and to basically become someone else. That's oftentimes the vibe, like the feel to the message. And then thirdly, it goes against everything the wisest of the planet, of the universe that we know, ever preached. Being, it's not about the doing, it's about the being. And you are enough just as you are. So I feel this whole transformational hoax is about thriving or hinged on the fact that you feel you're not enough. Is that true or not? Have you ever felt when such message passed you by, like when you saw another coach recommending so-and-so program? Have you ever felt and thought, I'm so good just exactly as I am. I don't need this. Or was there always some kind of tiny little voice or maybe a little twinkle in your little toe that said, well, I could improve, or maybe that's not, or and then also the other way around. Seeing these messages, how many times did you feel, well, actually, I could improve, or I could work on, or da-da-da. Not to say that working on yourself, transformation, or, being guided or coached or any of those things are a bad thing. Not at all. But why does everything need to be so freaking transformational all the freaking time? It's the same hype that happened a few years ago and that we're still clearly not done with yet, is the hype of, I'm going to go and travel the world, sell your business, sell your house, move countries, blah, blah, blah. And it was sold as some kind of, sold. It wasn't sold by anyone in particular, but it's we amongst each other, we've completely glorified what it is like to move across the globe with a backpack, There is absolutely an amazing amount of teachings to get from it, and there's beautiful experiences waiting for you there. But we've glorified it. It's absolutely as amazing to just have a stable home and to just provide for the family that you love so dearly. And I would want to know, how is that not transformational? Like, how is it not transformational to show up for your kids every single day and be there and maybe have all these whack dreams, but not pursuing them because this is what you committed to and now you're here doing exactly what you committed to doing? That's pretty transformational as well, isn't it? It's transformational for the kids that you're providing for. And again, not to say that because you have a family, you get to bury your dreams and never tend to them again. No, not at all. And also not saying that it is always a transformational and amazing thing to commit and to be committed and to stay committed regardless. You can listen to the previous episode if you're interested in commitment and in consistency and everything around that. Anyway, another very important point that I want to make is don't you worry. Life will give you your transformational lessons, you know? It's not that if you are not gonna go to Bali to engage in this crazy retreat with all these transformational practices, that if you're not doing that, then sorry, you're never gonna transform. You know, life will provide you with everything necessary for your growth. And if you feel that your call is to go to Bali and enroll in some kind of retreat to be all transformational about life, then great, go, enjoy, highly recommend. But this idea that in order to grow or to tap into your potential, because I guess these are the reasons why people engage in transformational programs, you know, life is gonna provide you with that. You know, your kid's gonna be sick. Your job's gonna be canceled all of the sudden. Your car's gonna break down in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, and there's no one around. Or I don't know, you know, like life will throw things at you and give you plenty of opportunities to transform into I don't want to say better human, because that means there's a worse and a better. And I don't believe in that notion when it comes to humanity. I do believe in, and I hate that we've used it so much because it sounds so dull now and so empty, but I do believe in consciousness. I do believe in people who sink deeper and deeper and deeper into a more spiritual experience of humanness and expanding their concept of what it means to be alive and a human. But then in the same time, dear listener, I feel a gardener who has never engaged in any circle or in any ceremony or in any transformational retreat. I believe that maybe they are a lot more spiritual and connected than any of those poncho wearing, sage burning dudes. You know what I mean? Transformation is not necessarily a rational concept or not necessarily something that you can perform or something that you can seek out to experience and then have that experience, because plenty of people will go to retreats and come back obviously having had a beautiful experience, but they're gonna call it transformational because they were told it's transformational. But maybe their weekend was transformational as well because they had an amazing conversation with their partner, or they had a massive breakthrough with their parent, or they maybe provided a super important moment of support to their kid, or maybe just to a person in the street who needed help and they were there and they provided the help that they needed and they felt super, super connected to spirit when doing it. So there are so many ways to transform, to grow, to learn. Because what else is transformation if not just learning? Because you have a deeper understanding of yourself or the world around you. That's really what these transformational experiences are all about. They're about expanded vision, expanded understanding, expanded being. It's, for example, having sat in front of someone and eye gazed for 2 minutes or 5 minutes and felt platonic, beautiful connection for the first time, maybe. Or maybe it's just having received a super important insight about yourself that literally shook your self-image to the core. And let's be honest, these experiences, they are, I mean, not the eye gazing necessarily, but hearing a sentence that moves you so deeply, that happens in life. And maybe the big difference is how we go into it. We step into these retreats and programs and courses. We step into them expecting to be transformed. So everything that happens there, we will call it transformational, and we're going to blow up the event and the consequences of the event. But this is a way that you can actually live. This is a way you can move through life. You don't need a gazillion $1 million and invest in all of these programs in order to become a deeper connected human, or a more aware human, or feeling like life makes more sense for you, or feeling like you're living a life that is actually worth living for you. If that would be the case, then that would mean that if, let's say, God existed, or spirit, or nature, or love, or source, or whatever you want to call it, that would mean that they would have everything organized so that people who have the means, they can find and grow into their true potential, and they can, transform, but the rest can't. Sorry, because you didn't have the money to pay for the program. So you come, God is there, and she's like, hey, welcome. And you're like, why? Why couldn't I transform? Well, because you didn't have the money. Sounds like God. Not really. Not really my God. She's different. She's providing all the time. And I think it's up to us to see where the opportunities for transformation are being given throughout the day, constantly. Not only because I'm so adamant on making sure that people stop investing crazy amounts of money in programs that make crazy promises. And the only reason why people come out of these programs saying that it was so transformational is because they paid so much money, and they really need to feel that they got what their money's worth. They got their money's worth, sorry. So, not to say again that these programs aren't possibly transformational, but it's also the lens through which you're stepping into and watching and experiencing these programs. And so I want to encourage every single one of you listening to put on your transformational glasses and just walk through life like that. Because that's how I do it.